1500 to 1800 bracket it is. We have Lord Envidiates, who apparently also streams on Twitch, versus mc120 here. These guys are... Lord Envidiates is actually seed 4, whereas mc120 is seed 28 in this bracket, so I don't know who to favor here. We'll see how it plays out. But let's have a talk about the civs here. Pretty classic Archers Civilizations matchup for 1v1 Arabia here. mc120 with the Mayans versus Envidiates with the Vikings. Two back wars here, so Lord Envidiates won't easily be lamed here, that's for sure. And a gold in the back as well, which is always good news when you're going for the Archers. Then it doesn't matter that much if your main gold is forward. Although that could be secured by some extensive walling in the front here as well. Maybe to even encapsulate the deer here. The map overall doesn't seem horrible for Lord Envidiates here, but it is a need to venture out a little bit to go for the full walls between the woodlands here. For mc120 we have a back main gold here, which is beautiful news for the Mayans. Could wall up between the woodlands here. We'll see for mc120's scouting here how he solves that, but he hasn't scouted this back woodland yet, so this might as well just wall towards the edge here as well. But if he walls here, he'd have another woodland to relocate to if needed, if he's under pressure here. The back gold should be easily secured, even if the overall area in front here is quite open. Side gold quite forward, both stones forward as well. So actually men-at-arms towers with Vikings could have some merit here as well, given the forward stones on the map here. I don't think we're going to see that for this game, but it is an option. Zero idle time for both here. Mayans starting with one more villager though, so once Lord Envidiates goes into Loom, then if more mc120 keeps the production going consistently with zero idle TC time, mc120 will be going to the feudal age with one more villager, but reaching the same time as the Vikings here. Barracks going up for the Vikings here. That's the timing for... I mean, that's... I guess it's the man-at-arms is the plan here. That's the most reasonable thing to go for with the Vikings, because you get plus 10 hit points for your infantry units. Yeah, militia in the queue. No mining camp here, so that's going to limit the gold access for resource production, units production. Deletes the mining camp there to ensure a gap between the golds here to have it working more efficiently. Mayans with the barracks as well, also queuing the militia here, and the production seems on point for both the uptimes. Again, virtually similar here. mc120 with one more villager, since mines start with one extra villager. But 22 pop men-at-arms here for Lord Envidiates, 23 pop men-at-arms, but with the same uptime here for mc120. The only difference separating the two players here is that Lord Envidiates with the Vikings, once Fuel Age kicks in, will have 10% more hit points on his infantry units, and as long as mc120 doesn't get any hits in here, that's going to give Lord Envidiates the upper hand in the melee fights here between the infantry line units. Men-at-Arms for both players, just 3 seconds apart here, just as the uptimes to the actual feudalage as well. Lord Envidiates, let's see his scouting here. He obviously knows the location of the barracks, knows the TC, will try to loop around and find woodlines and golds to hit in the back here. No sign of a range just yet. There it comes for mc120. Lord Envidiates, the same thing. See, 45 hit points for the Mayans Men-at-Arms, 50 for the Vikings Men-at-Arms. So if you look at the compared hit points here, it's a slight lead for Lord Envidiates. If we include the Scout as well, you see that it's a bit more even, because the Eagle Scout has more hit points than the generic or the Scout Cav of the Vikings. But if your micro is on point, this fight should favor Lord Envidiates. We have a run in here, but again, that hit points difference is showing. It's still... Yeah, now Lord Envidiates is getting focused down here, but it's going to clean up the Men-at-Arms of mc120, which means that mc120's starting Men-at-Arms investment isn't going to do any damage on the purple player's side here. Even long-distance hunting, and Lord Envidiates is not stressed out about any offenses from the opponent here. It's just gonna do his thing here. What's the idea there? Is just breaking out to check if there's a gap, maybe? There's some potential for a full wall here for Lord Envidiates on the side pointing towards his enemy. He's dropping the second range as well. Is it going to be single range skirms for the Mayans from here on? Not really. We have last Man-at-Arm and 4 archers moving forward here for mc120. Woodline, it's quick walled in, but it's also extremely exposed to archers fire from this angle, for example. So mc120 could get some good villager snipes in here. Fletching is in as well, so that does boost the attack and range of the archers. I'm surprised not to see a hit at the woodline here from mc120. On the other hand, he wants to keep the advantage to pull back towards the hill here. This woodline should also be exposed to ranged fire. Both players with fletching here and roughly or equal military numbers, actually. Over chop! Okay, that's also a way to do it. So the woodland needs to be evacuated for Lord Envidiates here. A little bit, I wouldn't call it panic mode, obviously, but to have 4 archers and a man-at-arm just casually strolling into your base like this, it's something you don't want to happen. The man-at-arm gets focused down. This is an archer-on-archer fight, but Lord Envidiates is getting the better end of the deal here, cleaning up this small forward of the Mayans. Numbers are similar though, both with 2 ranges losing, both with... I was going to say both with consistent TC production behind this, but Lord Envidiates has actually been idling a bit behind this. On the other hand, with that Vikings eco working out here, is definitely going to aim for a quicker castle age and early crossbows here. Stable! So the Vikings adding the stable here, peculiar choice, although you could kite your scouts in between the enemy archers and boost your own archers' firing potential in that way. Lord Envidiates with the counterattack now. No sign of skirmishers added just yet for Lord Envidiates with the Mayans archers again moving forward here. Score is very, very similar between the players. And Lord Envidiates will find potential places for attack here. A bit weird that mc120 hasn't walled towards the edge anywhere around here, with just a couple of houses and walls here, and the scout would never pass through in this area. But I think he wants to keep the walking distance at the minimum to get the villagers back to work ASAP after walling. That has to be the reasoning here. Again, an archers forward, and Lord Envidiates evacuating the woodland, but should be losing a villager now. Not just one, but two, in fact. 2, 3. 4 villagers down for Lord Envidiates on the way up to the castle. Age here is now at 30 villagers against 41 of mc120, who just clicked the castle age here with wheelbarrow in. That's one that Vikings get instantly, obviously, but that's some significant losses to take at this stage in the game while transitioning to the next age. And mc120 getting some amazing value. Why hasn't Lord Envidiates got into a single skirmisher here? Is he so competent after his first initial men-at-arms that he feels he doesn't need them? He is showing some good micro here now. He has the numbers, so he should clean up mc120. But mc120 has had more than the value for his archers here. He did snipe 5 villagers, or 4 or 5 villagers with this forward. Here comes the forward siege workshop from the Vikings. Needs to keep the pressure up now. He has the lead to the cast stage, yes, but is far behind in economy here. And Mainz economy is no joke either. mc120 just reached the cast stage and will have 14 archers to benefit from the crossbow and Bodkin upgrades. Bauso, of course, kicking in as well to boost the wood income for further units production. Rushing up a town center here now on the wood line, and crossbow will hopefully kick in just in time to focus down Lord Envidiates' armies over here. There we go. Hesitating to engage until the perfect moment here with more numbers overall for mc120. You could definitely take this fight. I don't think he checked the upgrades here because Bodkin actually isn't in for Lord Envidiates here. Because of the forward investments here, yes, going for university for an early ballistics here as well, but also the fact that Lord Envidiates lost 5 villagers so far in the game, and mc120 hasn't lost a single one, keeping that villager lead as well with an 8 villagers lead now, also dropping the university to go for ballistics, and will be able to afford that before the Vikings player here. 17 archers or crossbows rather, to 20 crossbows. There is a mangonel inside the siege workshop though, so mc120 will have to tread carefully here. That hill is just asking to be taken by the archers though, and it makes it easier to focus down a mangonel if you want to test your micro skills as well. So Lord Envidiates, he really needs to keep the pressure up here. Yes, he gets hands card instantly with the Vikings reaching the next stage. That's an eco bonus again that he'll be benefiting from, but it's completely up gold here. Okay, he's dropping a TC on the gold now. It's back on gold. That's good. But that must have had taken its toll on the production here. 2 forward siege workshops. Archers pushing. Should aim straight for the range, in my opinion now. But I guess it's hitting the blacksmith because of its building stats. No, why is he hitting the blacksmith? Why aren't you hitting the production buildings here? Why not just hit the range? Might even get lucky and snipe some archers. Oh no, more mc120 found the whole way around here. That's brilliant. That's the last bit of wall that Lord Envidiates doesn't have here. He thinks he's walled, but he's not. So these archers have taken the whole long way around here and will yet again raid Lord Envidiates' economy and cause some serious idle time here. Pulling away from the woodland again, third TC for the Vikings. It's going to keep the pressure up here, but there are two defensive mangonels from mc120 as well. And ballistics is in as well, so should be easy for mc120 to snipe builders here. One shooting them, in fact, could snipe some farms as well and render the food eco of Lord Envidiates at a very minimum. Another villager, 8 villagers dead now for Lord Envidiates, who is actually pulling one of his forward mangonels all the way back to deal with this archer's push. He keeps his archers forward though, and to push this TC to the side here. It looks like he sniped a couple of villagers as well. But mc120 18 crossbows to 24 and the mangonel to chase. How's the forward going? 8 to 3 villager kills now. The woodland is exposed, so mc120 could still get kills up here. Look at Lord Envidiates' eco balance here as well. It's 31 with 11 on gold. It's not looking too bright for the purple player. Good dodge by mc120 as well, just dodging that mangonel shot perfectly there. And looks like we had some mangonel shots on the hill here, so a bit of a cleanup there for mc120, while Lord Envidiates had to address to the situation at home. So this could be a cleanup now, because mc120 has the numbers. This might be a game-deciding fight. Mangonel shot, getting the archer's numbers. Look at the armies now for Lord Envidiates. He is down to 6 crossbows, and he's been missing Bodkin arrow this whole time as well. Unless capture age is bugging out here, and that's such a huge one when playing masked crossbows like this. 10 to 5 is the villager kills, but look at the production behind this as well. 20 villagers lead for mc120. mc120 missing a handcart, of course, but that's not the most significant thing ever. Lord Envidiates is investing some of that existing wood into a third range here to double up on the crossbows production again. But in the meantime, his forward presence is being pushed away. Yeah, that's a lot of villagers down, unfortunately, for Lord Envidiates here, taking a serious hit on the woodline, and behind almost, what is that, 20, 30 villagers here. mc120 takes the first game after some sneaky raid in this open. Always scout to the edge of your woodlands, guys. Otherwise, you'll risk your enemy armies running in unnoticed on the side of your base like this. So let's see the stats here for this one. Our military score higher for mc120, probably had the higher kill death ratio here, almost twice that of his opponent, yes. And army high in the end as well. We'll see in the economy tab that mc120 with the mines, longer lasting resources and less annoyment overall, did collect more resources. The uptimes could be fairly similar, at least to the feudal age as well. mc120 later to the castle, but held on nicely behind his walls, defended, and got some very good raids in with minimal investment. Finally, the society score shows a 78 villagers for mc120, and that's probably the deciding factor for Lord Envidiates looting both most of the military and being behind the villagers. There's not much you can do to get back. So let's bring up game 2 and the home map of Lord Envidiates. So the second game will be on Lowland from Red Bull Wallodo 2. Yeah, so they had a little bit of chat here. You didn't see that, just disappeared, but they were having some picking the right map issues. That bugs out sometimes. Sometimes you pick a map as host, you see the map you picked, but the opponent will see a different map. But they resolved it, and now they found Lowland to be the map, so I'm glad they double checked it. The map is Lowland from Red Bull Wolo 3. I picked it due to the openness of it, of course, that you have to contest for long-term gold sources here. You can camp on top of your hill for a while. There's golds here, but as you can see, the second gold spot tends to spawn a bit further away, so even if you pull wall your base within the woodlines as the natural boundaries go, you'll usually just have one gold inside of your walls unless you're going extremely greedy on the walling. So it's going to be a fight for the middle, and whoever gets more control in the middle usually will win the game because that's going to give you consistent gold access. We see Tatars picked almost every game for this because Tatars, they have 25% more damage from hills. They have one of the smoothest transitions into cavalry archers in the game as well, giving with them getting Thumbring and um, party and tactics instantly reaching the castle and Imperial Ages. Oh, is this the lane? Lane? Not with the enemy scout this close, maybe. But we have a run in, and this is going to cripple the scouts opening for both of them if they indeed wanted to go for the scouts here. See who takes it. mc120 runs. Oh, that's a bad call against Tatars. Tatars could get a downhill hit here, and then mc120 will lose the scout. I think Lord Envidiates should chase there because he has that extra damage for the hills to benefit his units. Pushing in the deer here, as is also common on this map. You see both players going for the berries, so we're not going to see any pre-built rushes here. Both of these civilizations has to be considered cavalry civilization to some extent, although Tatars is more of a cavalry archer civ. You'd see them going for scouts more often than not because of the extra food granted from sheep. 50% more food from sheep, or herdables rather, sheep, pigs, buffaloes, etc. for the Tatars, giving them a Dark Age food boost that benefits all of their potential plays. It of course makes it easier to go for pre-build rush or men-at-arms as well. But scouts make sense on more open maps like these, where it's going to take some time and effort for the opponent to fully wall. So what's it gonna be here? We have a minimum time for both players here. No sign of loom for either one, so they're keeping their productions completely similar here. Both getting loom, both going for the 20 of scouts, I think. Resource setup more or less mirrored here. mc120 with 5 on wood, 4 on wood for Lord Envidiates. Yeah, very similar setups here. Splitting up the lumber camps for more wood access for farms later on, and both on the way to the feudal age to go for the scouts here. So we'll see some feudal age fighting here for sure. And I see that mc120 has been pushing in more deer, so he'll be having a slight food advantage over Lord Envidiates here. Though that longer lasting sheep kind of plays the same role for Lord Envidiates here. In terms of delaying the farm's investment come the feudal age. With this kind of food sources pushing in the deer and everything, ideally you don't want to seed your first farms before you actually have horse color text in the feudal age. That makes your farms last longer, or rather provide more food before they expire, hence lasting longer. Walls in progress for the Berbers player here. Actually, on maps like this, Berbers would really benefit from the early Castle Age because Berbers have all the counters to Cavalry Archer play from Tatars to begin with, but if they can get to the cast stage sooner than the opponent, they can also benefit from the cheaper Cavalry in the next age. Lord Envidiates could try to deny some walls here, but the scout is already weakened. He doesn't want to lose more hit points before sending his first few scouts forward here. Right, so what's the situation here? Both making scouts, some spears out for mc120 as well to protect the wall builders here. He keeps his initial scout close to this guy as well. Might even opt for some walls. Yeah, exactly, all the way to the edge here. So some ambitious walling here for mc120, but there's 3 scouts now for Lord Envidiates. Why isn't he moving out? So Lord Envidiates not moving forward now really allows the Berbers player to get the walls in place here, and that's just going to make the transition to cast stage so much easier for mc120 here. 3 scouts, 4 scouts total, and 3 spears as well. Gate going up for some point of entry and exit there, and both those 2 tile golds inside of the Berbers player's walls here. Still like a very good walling from mc120 here. The walls they shouldn't be getting away with on this map in my opinion. Maybe a pre-mill rush would have been a better play here after all for the Tatars to make sure that the Berbers can't chill behind walls on their own little Acropolis here. Two woodlines within the walls that are perfectly safe from ranged approaches either. It's not going to be easy for Lord Envidiates to punish the other side here, as these scouts are being kept defensively here just to allow walling for the Tatars. This is too passively played for the Tatars here, I think. Walls not complete either, still points of entry in the back here. The scouts stay here, of course, but MC120 has both spears and scouts forward now. We'll have to be careful with that little hill advantage for the Tatars, though. Alright, so the battle of the pointy boys here, what looks good. MC120 maybe trying to get some sneaky hill advantage here, or just keeping the spearman busy. Support bear, not beer. I'd love to be chased by beer, but not by a bear. Funnily enough, the spearmen are almost outrunning the wild animal here. 3 spears now taking a bit of hill advantage here for MC120, and it's just pulling everything back home here as Lord Envidiates is looking for an opening. And the wildlife isn't doing Lord Envidiates any favors here. He is not allowed to take any hill advantage, but that bear here is almost killing off that one spear. I think it might actually take it. Is this? That's really unfortunate for Lord Envidiates there. It's not like there's a lot of wild animals on this map overall. He still has his scouts alive, but they won't be able to do any damage here because all of mc120's side is full walled. Defense for the Knights line kicking in here, or the cavalry line, and Castle Age on the way for both players, in fact, here. 36 pop for Lord Envidiates, or 36 villagers rather. 35 villagers for mc120. Both players with wheelbarrow and all the eco upgrades here, so no significant difference there. And they're both just happily walled on their own little acropolises here. The Scots have defense now, so they could in theory engage this spearman here, but no reason to waste hit points if you don't have to. So if you don't need to force the engagement, of course you won't take it either. Some attack on the other side as well. Camels now for mc120. Why is that? Is he... Surely he's not expecting the Tatars to go for knights here. Scouts being nothing but a mere annoyance here. Then camel investment makes even less sense now. But, oops. Thank you so much for the sub. Seems that part of that goes into the prize pool as well, as you can see on the open season waiting screen, so to speak. Much appreciated support, makes it easier to arrange future tournaments and keep things going as well. But back to the game, I don't quite understand the Campbell's investment of mc120 here. He's getting the +2 defense, but the thing is, it's mainly crossbows and it's going to be cavalry archers for Lord Envidiates here to follow up at some point. And with camels, they have they are a counter in the sense if they get close to the cavalry archers, of course they'll do nicely. But with the hit and run potential of especially the Tatars cavalry archers with instant sunbreak, as we can see here, the cavalry archers should shred the camels when you get to the decent chunk of units. And crossbows as well, especially with the heal bonus and damage potential that they are given here, being Tatars. It's so tough to fight Tatars on maps like this because you're always fighting at a disadvantage, risking to give them the heal advantage. If the Tatars player mines some stone and gets some castles up on the Acropolis here as well, you're just so nice and safe up on your hill. But the gold is going to be an issue for Lord Envidiates here. See, the other, let's call it main gold of Lord Envidiates is outside of the walls here. And where is the spot? It's just about to be depleted. Oh, let's see what kind of engagement we have here. Even a monk on the field here. mc120 with the attack round, and that's a good one. But Tatar's heal bonus there, giving some serious... Oh, last hit, last shot. Yeah, it's dead. Yeah, so it's more knights than it's camels for mc120 now. It makes more sense, I think. I guess mc120 went for the camels to fight down the last remaining scouts of Lord Envidiates, and after the scouts' investment of Tatars, may be expecting a knight's follow-up, but it is the crossbows instead. Army numbers in favor of Lord Envidiates here now, and he has quite a few crossbows here to push on the opposing side here. Oh, don't give the Tatars the hill advantage here. Oh, is there some monk conversions at work here? Yes, and semi-choke point for the crossbows here as well. But now I think the crossbow numbers will go down, and Lord Envidiates, what's he gonna do from here? He's losing his armies. He lost his monk as well. I'm not sure how mc120 did there. If he deleted his to be converted unit, that might be the case. He's going to lose one to conversion there though. But the monk goes down as well, so that's some gold down for Lord Envidiates, who is now with 7 of gold. Has a TC on this side. He's with 3 TCs total, so playing good macro here. But again, the gold source is very limited for this purple player. Still committing to the crossbows. I mean, it's much more cost efficient than the cavalry archers, also both in terms of upgrades and ease of production, and last but not least the cost. But long term, I don't see it working since Tatars don't get Arbalest. They get Bracer though, so even with crossbows in the Imperial Age, they're not useless. They have that last attack and range upgrade at least, but not that extra power spike you get with the Arbalest upgrade. We see mc120 putting down more buildings in the middle as well, now going to extend to 4 stables here. Has that nice 5-tile gold here being taken with a lot of villagers, and with the Berbers cheaper cavalry, it's so easy to just spew out units to get keep things going here. Another conversion, most likely here, and crossbows blocking the monk there. I like that. Makes it easier to snipe the monk in the middle of this. And one conversion is indeed in to maybe try and snipe the ram here. I'm liking mc120's position more and more though. The cavalry play should work out against the crossbows here, and with one ram to run forward and soak archer's fire, it makes the engagements all that more easier as well. But the main issue here is that Lord Envidiates doesn't have any middle control here, and once this gold mine is depleted, he's going to be in a pickle here in terms of expanding more. Both players on stone actually. So we'll see who gets down the castle first in the middle. For mc120, I'd say a castle around this side would be good to really fortify that middle position. Meanwhile, splitting up the knights here to try and get some raids in, but we'll be running into walls here, so limited raiding potential thus far. That's a dangerous engagement. You're not tooting. Oh, it's a weak monk! Good spot! Good spot by mc120 there to know that he could actually take out that monk since it was weak before the conversion. There's a lot of gold going down to monks here for Lord Envidiates. KD very much in favor of mc120, who has cleaned up quite a bit of archers throughout this game. More houses going down in the middle. Lord Envidiates doubling up on the stone here, really is thinking about a castle in the middle to ensure some long-term gold here. And he has crossbows to back the investment, and monk for conversion on knights again here to sway the numbers, taking that hill advantage as well. Not easy to engage that arsenal map like this where we have to fight uphill. So definitely a good pick on the home map of Lord Envidiates here. Hey! Thanks for the raid, Helios. Much appreciated. not your game, no. That was yesterday, Helicos, but honestly, that was a good set as well, even if it didn't go your way. Spoilers. I like that set as well. That was yesterday. What should we say? Yesterday noon-ish. But lots of viewers tuning in. I like that. Just in case I have any new people here. That raid alert is my own recording of the main game scene that is played on my instrument, the horn. Aside from that, this is my own tournament, quarterfinal stages now, open season. It is 3 different brackets. 1300 max, 1300 to 1500, which was Helichaos's bracket, and 1500 to 1800, which is what we're seeing right now. We're in the quarterfinal stages, still best of 3. And yeah, the selection of maps is, I think it's 10 maps total in the pool, and with only maybe one exception being Desert Void. It's exclusively open maps, encouraging feudal age aggression and yeah, compact games. Not like your go-to 30 minutes snooze start that is Arena. mc120 with a serious push, you know, he's made it up on the hill, so it's not as easy for Lord Envidiates to engage again here now. He has solid chunk of crossbows still, but the knights, this is Berbers, they have cheaper cavalry, they have in the castle age 15% cheaper cavalry, so it's just so easy to mass knights and the camels situationally. We have the pike defense here for the Tatars, but pike defense for Tatars, that's suboptimal because the defense upgrade for the infantry are seriously lacking. As you can see up in the corner here, those dark patches mean that you don't get the upgrade, and that's only if you lage defense for Tatar's infantry units. Knights diving in here to chase the crossbows. Pikes aren't really a threat here either because they're lacking that defense. And Lord Envidiates, although still with a decent builder count, is gonna struggle for the middle. He's in the Imperial Age, but with barely any army whatsoever to benefit from it. Even if he gets to Halberdier here with Tatars for his pikes, they will still only have +1 defense at maximum. Actually, they're missing even that now, so this is not looking great for the purple player, subject to some extreme raids here now from mc120. I don't see any easy recovery here. Going into the Imperial Age with Tatars and mainly investing into crossbows means that the crossbows, yes, they'll get Bracer, which is helping in a pinch to get extra range, extra attack, but they're still only crossbows, and Knights will simply just focus them down. That's a 1-0, 2-0, I mean, for mc120. And thanks to Lord Envidiates for participating. Solid performance still. This was, in my opinion, a good set, even if he drew the shorter straw here in the matchup against mc120. Let's have a look at the stats here. So mc120 with the larger units count here, solid value behind this. The economy, not that much difference in resource collected. Surprisingly good gold collection for the Tatars player here, given that he was never able to move into the middle. The technology shows some very similar uptimes here. Envidiates with the Imperial Age, but no units to really benefit from that aside from the crossbow investment, getting Bracer, and he didn't have enough of those to just thinking about the pikemen and get to Halberdier and hold off the cavalry play and push back and get the middle. But that didn't work out as intended by the looks of it. The society score will show 0 castle in the middle and a villager's lead for mc120 with the earlier middle advancement here. Lots of map control in the middle for mc120. A little bit like Golden Pit, this map in that sense. If you hold the middle, there's not much you can do to push you back. GG, well played though.